So the last 3 videos I've done has been about what I would consider is your starter pack for if you really want to get into diving, you want to start getting your own equipment. And really these 3 things are your goggles, your dive computer and your fins. I personally believe that if you have those 3 things, 3 items, it's going to go a long way to making your dives much more enjoyable and much more comfortable when you're not only when you're diving but also looking back on stuff, reference information, especially when it comes to your dive computer. So those 3 things I personally believe are your essentials that you need to get. Even though a lot of this sort of stuff you can get, those are the 3 things you really want to have your own gear. So where do we go from there? I have strings, I've got S&Bs, I've got torches, I've got knives, all sorts of stuff. Well, guess what? Probably they're not the things you want to go for next. What you probably want to go for next is a shirt and dive pants. So why am I saying the dive pants? In fact, the dive pants are probably more than the shirt. A race shirt's good. I got some people that they dive with a 3mm wetsuit. I do actually have a 5.5mm semi-dry. Mongrel thing to get in and out of. But if you're really in cold water climates, it's good. But even in hot water climates, you've got to remember, water sucks energy out 26 times, yeah, that's right, 26 times faster than air. So even in the warm water, you can get cold. And so that's where these things come in handy. I find personally, a rash shirt is enough. This is a long sleeve rash shirt. So I like it because it's got a hole there for my thumb to go in. Make sure it keeps it down. Means when I'm putting my dive computers on, it's not, I'm not getting any of my hairs or anything. So I find that that's quite handy. I have a few of these. Good idea to have. They're not that expensive, and you're going to dive with something anyway. You might as well have the correct gear. You're not spending any extra weight on your travel with that, because you're going to have a shirt anyway. Now I've got these. So these are my dive shorts. So why do I say dive shorts are the way to go? Well, simply put, I've got pockets. Now these things, the thing is, these are specifically designed for diving. I've got rings here. So if I want to, I can hook that there on. Now on my GoPro with my housing that I got for my diving, I can hook it onto here. In other words, it's in my pocket and that's closed. But I've actually had a case where what happened was stupid me, didn't hook it up. Fortunately, I had a buoyancy device on it. I dropped in the water, this thing flung open, it flung out. The next guy that dropped in after me, grabbed my GoPro and handed it to me underwater. Very handy. Got very lucky there. So, what's the saying goes? Once bitten, twice shy. I've learned. Hook onto these things, and that's the whole advantage of this here. It's got holes in the bottom so water drains out. What it basically means is I've got a product that enables me to store stuff, and so that's quite handy. I can actually make the pockets bigger if I have to, put more stuff in there. So you're going to be wearing clothes anyway. Might as well go get this thing done properly. Get a good pair of dive shorts. Any extra stuff that you want is there. Even recreational diving, you're going to have, at the very least, most people want to take a GoPro with them these days, and let's face it, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's incredible under there to see it and to show it to people. I mean, I do that. So get yourself a good pair of dive shorts. You're going to hook everything. It's in there, out of the way. I always carry As I said before, I carry a backup mask that goes in one of my pockets. So very, very handy to have the correct clothing. So that's what I recommend, is probably for your point number 4 that you want to get. And for traveling, it's not really going to add an extra weight. So people like my brother that wants to only carry with carry-on, well, get some decent clothing. It's not, you're going to have clothing anyway. You swap that out for some of the other clothing you're going to have. You're not carrying any extra weight. Do that if you want to do that before your fins. Having said that, personally, I reckon the fins are a much better way to go for item number 3. Item number 4 is all your clothing. So that's where we are with that. Anyway, cheers.